Mahagriha or Mehrgarh culture is about 8500 BC old. It's part of a civilization which existed on sharing of an unfinished and finished products on an international basis. At present, it is in Pakistan, Afghanistan, that area. But it was a part of Indian civilization, as the archaeological details clearly indicated. If such a well planned, systematic global trade and a centralized administration existed in 8000 BC, that is 10,000 years ago in one area, what could have been its antiquity before becoming progressive to that stage? In 8000 BC, it has reached that stage. So, what must have been its antiquity? In the economic historiography of Indian history, Shatavahanas or Satavahanas played a very important role. And they were active in both the Dakshinapath, that is South India, and Uttarapath, North India, unifying the two regions. They had very well established land routes and sea routes. The land routes were used by all. The sea routes were mainly controlled by the people in the southern India, South India, and the western coast of India, especially. What Marx said about the traditional village based economy of India is only partially correct when we view the urban and well centralized economy and administration of India right from the beginning of prehistory, continuing into the present age. In anthropological research, Marshall Moss opined that in the gifts which are very valuable and given to other nations, it included royal women as well as brides. The marriages of this type are seen in epics like Ramayana. Kaigeyi was from Baluchistan, Gandhari was from Kandahar or Gandhara, Madri was from Madra. So different places they used to get married, so that interrelationship was there, and which or especially in the frontier provinces, such relations were important, and hence, from the point of view of invasions from other people, these relations were actually a safeguard. A similar bridal exchange was seen between the Shibi people, the old Shibi tribe. Her daughters called Shaibya. You know, Shaibya was sent to King Solomon as a bride. With the brides, other valuable gifts of the country also reached the different kings, like ornaments, horses, food, luxury items, etc. This is described in Ramayana when Bharata returns from Kandahar to Ayodhya with gifts from his grandfather to his father Dasharatha. The gift items are interesting because these are still seen in that area. That is another story. The Indian rulers had representatives in all other parts of India as well as in ports along the ocean in all parts of the world. And some port cities were actually controlled by them, even at a distance. But the control was not based on war or power politics, but on friendly trade, exchange of materials, culture, language, and women. So it was on a friendly basis. In the ports, the representatives met the local people and exchanged materials. Everyone seemed to have understood the signs or the seals used by the Indian people, but was there a vocal language spoken between them? We have one authority at least saying that it was a silent language between locals and foreigners. No, that is Indians as foreigners in the Greek soil. That is Herodotus. He speaks about the silent trade without language or middlemen, directly between the locals and foreign authority. They didn't even meet each other. The foreign ships arrive and they keep all the commodities in a familiar common place, a market in a port, which every locals knew. It was so famous and the timings of the market were specific, and that also was known to all the people. After depositing the goods, the foreigners retreat to their resting places. Then the locals silently enter with their products and keep them. They then retreat to their homes. The foreigners again come and value the objects kept And if they are balanced in requirements or demands, they take it and replace their goods. We can't call this a usual competitive market where people argue over prices for gains. But we can consider it as a sharing between people on honest means. Nobody steals it. No? So honest means sharing between people. Herodotus also says that the places or cities of this foreign trade was always outside the living quarters of the people. The same is seen in our South Indian Sangha literature as the Puracheri Varana, Agacheri Varanam and Puracheri Varanam. The Puracheri Varanam where the outsiders are able to enter. The reason for developing such a system in India must be the innumerable dialects spoken in the subcontinent itself. The system might have evolved in the subcontinent first and then extended to other continents. The common language was the seals, the weights and measures, and the demand and supply knowledge. You should know the demand and supply needs of a particular region and the knowledge of the routes, both oceanic and land routes. And the oceanic routes were kept by the Indians for definite, definitely defense reasons for such a long time. According to Atharvaveda, there are three types of exchanges. One is the prabana. Prabana means an object in turn for an object. That is a barter system. Pradipana, that is the exchange of merchandise. Then the third is Vikriya, the actual sale of objects. At present, only Vikriya is being done. All the three methods brought Shatadhana. Shatadhana means hundreds of wealth. And Vaniks or Vaidehaga, Banjaras, street vendors, Sartavaha, caravans, and Savittakar, that is the shipowners and navigas, were engaged in these three types of exchange. So, according to Atharva Veda, Videha, the father of Sita, was not only a king and a learned man but also engaged in trade. He is a Vanik, a Videhaga. Brahma, Kshatra, and Vaishya combination, you can say. Periplus tells us about the ivory of Dozarenes. Who are these Dozarenes? The Latin word is the one which became doctor in English. And in Veda, they are the twin doctors, the Dasara and Nasatya, or the Ashwinis, as we know, the Vedic physicians or Vedic surgeons, divine serpents. Ivory comes from Africa and India, and Indian ivory was seen in all the major civilization sites of the old world. That means it reached from here to there. And at least 10,000 years back, a sharing by sea route and land route existed in Indian subcontinent, as evidenced from the Mehrgarh culture cities. Then, why are we trying to bring the Dosareans of the Vedic period to myths or to later historic periods? It is simple intellectual slavery, nothing else. According to Pliny, kings get more money out of the salt mountains of India, which he calls Romanus, than gold and silver. Now, that mountain is in Pakistan, or Romanus is now in Pakistan. The other sources of salt were the seashores. The salt dealers of the coastal region were called Paradavar, Meenavar, Mukkuva, Navika, Savittaga or Shatadana, and locally as Uppukotta also. Up to 5th century, this Uppukotta name existed. Uppu means salt, Kotta means wealth. So, people who amass wealth with salt trade. During Kushana periods, a salt dealer gives tributes to a temple. Siyadoni Nemaka Vanija, it is said in the Likita. We find that during the Satavahana Empire, the king had some special levy for the salt trade, which was exclusively the king's. Bharadava or Bharadava in Sanskrit is thus a common people belonging to the entire India, the Bharat, Bharatava, or entire India belong to Bharata, in Prakrit language Paradava, Bharat, and Bharatamuni who made Bharatakala, literature, music and drama, and sage Vyasa who made the Vedas famous as we know it today, were members of this fishermen or Minava community this Paradava or Bharadava, they were Bharatiyas. One of the Meenava brides, Satyavadi, who is incidentally Vyasa's mother, also she is the mother of the Kuru dynasty, and this has to be viewed as a gift of the Meenava to the king in the sense of Marcel Mauss bride exchange. It was her progeny who ruled India during the Mahabharata period, and one of their cousins was Krishna. He also had a port city in Dwaraka for trade of this kind, for defense of India. The differences of south, north, east, and west were thus neutralized by a unified system of administration and world economy for benefit of all. The communication language of the Indian subcontinent as seals and the finished and unfinished objects has a very important role in this unification of the world. The seals in Mesopotamia, Egypt, Hindu Kush area, in several other places too, the language of the seals was well known all over the ancient world. Copper was present in Rajasthan, in South India, and in Balochistan, that is Kekaya. Still, the copper of Oman was taken by Harappan sailors to share it with Elam and Mesopotamia and to supplement. They took gold from Kolar and from the Americas, silver from Iran by giving weight and measures, language, mathematics, use of zero, sign languages called the lipi, and musical notations, instruments, and culture. They became the guru to the entire world. Rigveda speaks of Pani. Pani is pronounced as funny, who goes on long voyages to bring Shatadhana to India. These are the Phoenicians. The Pani or the Funny of the Rigveda are the later known Phoenicians, or Vainiga, a corruption of Faniga, Vaniga or Faniga. Such families formed guilds. Guilds functioned on cooperative basis at least from the Mehrgarh period, and evidence of them is seen till the Sangam literature, till Jataka tales, and in several inscriptions of India. The smallest weight of Rigveda is a Krishnala. Krishnala. Krishnala is a seed of the plant Abrus precatorius. We call it as Kunnikuru, Gunjam in Sanskrit. This is called Krishnala, which is 1.8 yava. Its weight is 1.8 yava. Shatamana is thus 180 yava, weight of 180 yava, and this forms the smallest weight of a suvarna or gold, and a rajata or rai, silver. To prove panam and fanam are interchangeable words, you have got actually the coin used even during the rule of King Balaramavarma in Thiruvananthapuram of Travancore. In it is written one panam is not written as one fanam. So panam is the same word as fanam. And pani of Rigveda is the same as funny. And funny or Phoenicia is the same as the Phoenicians as they are called to the Western world.